person passes on, what they initially experience is based on what their mind pattern is projecting, so that if you think when you die you're going to see Jesus, that's what you're going to see. Your mind will project into the astral layers that you go into whatever it is that you perceive. Ultimately, we all go into an area of what I call oversoul or hyperspace level, where your higher intelligence directs and reviews the lifetime that you've just experienced and then determines where it is that you need to go next, whether it's on the earth or somewhere else. Reptilians, they also have soul personalities, except that they're more species mind related. In other words, instead of being so much as an individual, they're more like a group mind or a hive mind, which is what they're trying to create in humanity through programming. So ultimately, we all experience what we think we're going to experience initially, and then as we become more aware of what and who we really are, we go into other dimensions and existences to help us progress in our path back towards the God mind. So it would be different initially for each individual, but ultimately we all go back to Source or God mind.
Okay, thanks. Let's go to our wild card line. You're on with Stuart Swidlow on Coast to Coast. Hi there.
Hey, this is David here in San Diego.
Yeah, Dave, go ahead.
Hey, I just want to let you, I got the Lemurian Fellowship booklet in front of me here, and I've actually been to their compound, and I've done some work for them. And the creepiest thing is that they're all gray-haired old people, and they're really small, and none of them would talk to me except for the main guy, and the rest of them just stood around with their hands clasped in front of them, smiling like beatifically at me, And I tried to talk to them, and they refused to talk to me. They would just smile. And also at the back of their book, the one thing they say that their order is to the formation of an ideal society and long-term efforts for their plan, the great work, and to build for quality for citizenship in the coming new order. And that is really creepy. And the Atlantis is their second coming of the second civilization. The first one was the continent of Mu in the Pacific Ocean. And I just wanted to let you guys know that. I didn't hear it say it.
Okay. Stuart, you want to comment on that? And then I have a question about Atlantis for you.
Yeah, well, to me, what this gentleman in San Diego just mentioned sounds like there might be some kind of a cult, although I do agree with Lemurian coming first and then the Atlantean civilization existing. I've never heard of this group particularly before, but it could very well be a group that's a form of mind control programming. There's all kinds of programming out there, as we saw with the group that committed suicide when Hale Bopp came by. So there's many different subgroups out there, and what I would call a cult.
Would you get chipped, Stuart, if they asked you to? A microchip?
Unfortunately, I already have some of these chips in me that have been X-rayed, actually.
What?
Yeah, in fact, all people who were in Montauk Project and anyone who claims to be abducted for whatever reason, many of these people do have chips in them. I will say that the microchips are kind of an obsolete technology now, because the way the satellite technology is and computer technology, they don't even have to chip you anymore. They can tune in directly to your brain frequency and direct you in whatever way they wish. They don't have to microchip. The microchip you can consider as a backup system, but they no longer need that.
Okay, let's pick it up, and we'll go to our next wild card line. It's your turn. You're on with Stuart. Hi there.
Hi, Stuart. How are you?
Hi.
Great. It is me. George, you really do have to get that to where they have the different wild card lines, so that when you go to a caller, they know they're on the air.
Yeah, it is true. Every time I go to a wild card line, you all think it's you, don't you?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, you start talking. It's great. Stuart,
we got to figure out how that is. Maybe I'll tell you what. I'll talk with Tom about it. I know how we can fix it. Go ahead. Thanks.
You've got it. Hey, Stuart, first of all, this is Chad in Seattle, Washington.
Hello?
With Inner Circle Publishing, and I tell you what, you did your homework. You know more than you're allowed to say, and yet you're saying it anyway, and I appreciate that. First of all, have you seen them yourself?
The Reptilians?
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen them, and I've also have seen someone shapeshift directly in front of me.
Okay, so you've direct contact. Do you know about the DUMBs, the deep underground military bases? We've got about 180 of them in the U.S.
Yes, this is known, and there's many more around the world and even under the ocean.
Yeah, even connecting. Interesting. Do you know where 91% of the missing children in this country end up?
Well, many of them end up in ritual sacrifice, unfortunately.
Underneath Denver Airport. Absolutely. Well, like I said, you've done your homework, and it's just great to hear you on the air. I've never heard of you before, but Coast to Coast is great for bringing new information to people.
He is a first-time guest, but you know what, Stuart? I don't think you're going to be a last-time guest. I have a feeling you're going to come back.
Well, I appreciate that.
It's a fascinating program. Look, I owe you, too. You tell me about your books and where you can get them.
Yes, my books are available at my website at expansions.com, and you can also call 269-429-8615 to order any books or consultations or DVDs. I do have DVDs on all of this information that we've talked about tonight and much more.
Okay, very good. Let's go back to the phones. We'll go to our East of the Rockies line. You're on Coast to Coast. Hello there.
Good evening, George. Good evening, Stuart. How you guys doing?
Hi, fine.
Good. This is John from Newark, Delaware. You talked earlier about that all of us humans here on this planet have 10 to 15% DNA, reptilian DNA.
Yes, on an average.
How did you get DNA, since you have to have a reptilian and have to have their DNA to compare it to? How did you get it?
Well, if you listened about how all human beings have reptilian DNA from the hybridization program in ancient times.
Well, how did they get it, is what I'm saying. You have to have a piece of their skin or saliva or something to get the DNA to compare it to.
Oh, I see what you're saying, like a sample of the reptilian. Yes, well, you know, the reptilians have been interacting with the government for many, many decades. And so, yes, there is availability for getting that kind of DNA. There was even reptilians at the Dulce base at the Four Corners area in New Mexico, which, as you know, there was an event there that the aliens took back that base on their own. There's many, many stories of battles that have occurred throughout the Earth where reptilians have been killed and their DNA has been taken.
Well, how come the whole world doesn't know this? Do you actually believe that you got DNA from reptilians?
I know that they have.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's great entertainment for the show, but personally, I think you're a complete whack.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion, and I think that people who don't accept this are really in for a ride on themselves.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Stuart, you know, the important thing of the information you're bringing out is that you at least make people think.
Well, you know, George, I think that some of the material that people don't want to accept, they have fear issues, so they attack the messenger, and that makes them feel comfortable.
Right. I don't have any problems with people not believing what you're saying, or they don't accept what you're saying. That, you know, the strength of this program is to take what our guest says without, major conflict in the comment and just, make up our own minds. I could sit back here and jump up and down or not, and I don't want to do that. I'd much rather people make up their own minds and decide if what they think they hear is correct or not.
Well, I agree with that.
West of the Rockies, you're on the air with us. Hi there.
Yeah, hi, my name's Zach. I just wanted to say, hey, I'm so glad you came on. I've been waiting for such a long time just to hear this kind of topic on your show about mind control. I wanted to get into a couple things specifically. I've been trying to find out as much info as I could trauma-based mind control. Do they even do that so much anymore now that they have, other types of things like microwave, antennas and everything like that? And have you ever seen any of those trauma-based mind control rituals, or what do you know about that?
Yes, in fact, I have an entire DVD on that topic. True that they no longer need to take an individual in a so-called program